And when I knew Cheryl, I just thought that you would be very perfect together.
Good taste. So what did you think when she said this guy?
Not that you're the same, but there's something the same about you that would just totally work out. Like the positivity or something.
So when she told me that, I was thinking, wow, well, how am I going to meet this Dean Pauls, And I thought maybe we should, have some people over, we'll play games, I kind of meet them that way and stuff. And then I was like, I was in my last year of medical school. I was applying for I was submitting all my requests for residency for the match.
You don't know where you're going to wind up.
And then and I knew I wasn't going to stay in Kansas City. So at that point I thought, you know what? No. If anything's going to happen, it's going to have to be of God, because I am not going to orchestrate or do anything like that. And plus, besides the fact, I'd just be leading them on, because I'm not going to marry anybody anyway, So I just so it was like several months later that our third roommate was getting married.
Oh yeah, that was the
And then
wedding.
Dean shows up at the seminary to go study, but he sees this wedding reception going on. Oh, have you already heard this?
No, I have not.
He hears this wedding reception going on, so he sees Carol, and he goes, "Hey, Carol, got any free food?"
It was classic Dean. Classic Dean.
Free food, single guy, come on.
And so he was the original wedding crasher in 1983.
And so Carol said,
Of course, yeah, right over there.
He said, "Go see my roommate over there, she'll serve you." And so Dean came, and my interest was kind of like, oh, this is the guy that Carol talked about. And so we thought, okay, I'll just see what he's like and stuff. And so after this wedding, Dean and his roommate and his seminary buddy were going to go see Gandhi. It was opening night of that 1983 movie Gandhi, because they were in a world religions class. And so he invited some of us other singles at the end of the
well,
wedding.
actually, it was just Carol. I said, hey, Carol, we're going to go see Gandhi. She goes, oh, I want to go see that. I said, okay, we'll meet you at the movie. But I didn't know she was going to bring Cheryl. Because I didn't know who she was. She was just serving me food. I didn't know that they were roommates.
The connection, you didn't.
I didn't know. So then we got to the movie.
So we were in the movie.
Oh, wait, my part.
Okay, your part.
Well, I didn't know.
This for time and
I didn't know
eternity.
who she was, but as God would have it, we sat down. So Carol went first.
Oh, you can just
Cheryl
say
went second,
sat beside each
and
other.
I was next to Cheryl. I thought, okay, whatever, just no. But thankfully, Gandhi was a long movie. Back then, they had the reel-to-reels. They had to change the reels, so they had a 20-minute intermission.
Well, they changed reels on the movie theater. Can you
You
imagine
know how
that?
much you can learn about a person in 20 minutes?
Oh, wow.
Very interested in 20 minutes. So that ignited the fire in me. Okay.
Okay.
And then after the movie,
So when this movie ends, and there's
Thank
this
you.
shot, there's you hear a shotgun, and the screen goes blank, and you hear "Oh Gandhi, oh God," and then that's how the movie ends. And it's just so impactful. It's so solemn and everything, and so everybody's just filing out, and everybody's got their heads down, and you're just kind of
Completely
deep
silent.
in thought. Nobody's talking or anything, because it's such a tragedy, really.
Wondering.
yeah.
And so, and then I'm thinking, as I'm walking out the door, like, oh, great, here I am with a bunch of seminary students who are going to be talking poor Gandhi all night. And so we go outside, and there was fresh snow on the ground. And so I kind of nudged Carol. And so Carol and we started scooping up snow and throwing snowballs and tackling people in the snow.
All right. Tackling.
Are you back to
What do you
me
think,
now?
Josh? Is that a winner?
I think
I think that's the winner. When I got tackled by Cheryl, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is." Yeah, I gotta find out who this person is.
So what had to happen, put it back to me,
Okay.
he had to break up with his
Oh, now you don't have to
girlfriend.
tell that part. You don't have to tell that part. This is
It's like the total playfulness, positivity, like
fun loving.
funness. Yeah.
Okay, so then here's the next part of the story. Since you guys haven't heard it, I don't think we've recorded this, honey.
I don't know that Carol's heard our
Okay, but since Carol's
our
here,
rendition.
and really-
my rendition of this
Yes.
is because I would remember, because I remember thinking how bold Cheryl is, because I was never bold with him. And so Cheryl was telling about how they went on the plaza, and she says, "Oh, it's cold," and she puts her hand in his pocket.
yeah, that was.
Oh my gosh, she's so bold.
Okay, tackling me in the snow, first date, hand to hand.
Just like
she got me.
Scarlett O'Hara.
But But to get to that first date, I called. So we did the movie thing, and we had that fun, and we went out afterwards, and we went to McDonald's. Well, we were both poor students, and we didn't have enough money for dessert. So I had enough money. She standing in line. So we split a milkshake and an apple pie. I'll never forget that. How
So
cute.
that was really weird with a complete stranger, Dean Coles, that I didn't know.
And I remember I was in my cowboy boots that night because for some reason. So that's when I said, okay, I got to find out who she is. So I called Carol. I said, hey, can I get Cheryl's number? So she gave me her phone number. So I called her up a couple of days later.
Oh, after
I broke up with a girlfriend.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
After I was free. So blah, blah, blah. We talk. Hey, you want to go out? Oh, okay, sure. Okay, where do you live? I'll pick you up. She says 6404 Woodland Avenue. And I said, in Kansas City? She said, yeah. I live at 6402 Woodland Avenue in Kansas City. We were next door neighbors, but didn't even know it.
Wow.
And our schedules were different. So, being a theology major, thou shalt love thy neighbor. So I took that literally. And we went on that first date, and the rest is history for me. Now, Cheryl took a few months to see the light, but I finally, you know how you do that fishing thing? I finally got that hook in her. So that's our story.
What did you think of him at first?
Especially the cowboy boots.
Yeah, was it the cowboy boots
Okay,
that sold
Oh,
you?
what
First
was it?
impression.
What was it?
Let me
No,
get you. Yeah. First
I-
first date.
no. I mean, we're adventurous.
Yeah.
And
Fun.
then so.
Oh,
so,
tell them at the end of this date.
Well,
Go ahead.
So
The end
one
of
of
the
the
first
issues was, it didn't matter because I was out of there.
Right.
So I could just like usually if anybody showed interest after 2 or 3 dates and they started being interested, I'm like, forget it. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to medical school. I mean, isn't that pretty?
Ooh.
And I'm like, so just don't. I'm not getting interested in anybody.
Love 'em and leave 'em. That was her philosophy.
I was already out the door. I knew that nothing could happen. So I'm like, okay, we'll just have this fun time.
So
So the
after,
thing about Dean.
well, the date. Finish the date.
Well, we were going to that.
So
one.
it snowed that night on our first date, and as we're going back to, because we live next door to each other, she says, "Oh, my dad used to like doing donuts in the snow," and oh, me too. So I started down this parking lot, and my car wouldn't turn, and it hit the front of the curb, broke my axle, and fortunately, it was just a couple hundred yards from where we live, so we walked up. So that was an expensive date. So I'm not gonna let her get away for a $600 date. Okay, now pick it up after that.
Well, and
Oh,
then
and the next morning yes, our
It was
classes
so
were
much
called off, so
snow.
we went in the snow and had fun.
I'm listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it was one of those things that everything closed down. Even there was so much snow that nobody could get to work and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we had a snow day.
So
Fun.
we were just doing on his inner tubes, his furniture in his apartment. They were inner tubes, truck inner tubes.
We were
But
cheap,
this seminary had a huge hill. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Hill.
so we
And so we took his
his
furniture
furniture
out
out.
and sliding down onto inner tubes and
just having a blast, just
Oh,
fun.
that's awesome.
But then, again, we didn't have any money, so Dean was always very creative in dates. And like for no money, we would just really have really fun. And like one, sometimes we go out for a walk, and then one time there was this. I just see these kind of little low lights, down ahead of us and stuff, and then I noticed there was a blanket, and there's kind of this little music, and I'm like, oh, I think we better leave, because I was thinking that somebody was doing something. He goes, no. And so he had hot chocolate and cookies and little tea lights there. And on the blanket
Romantic,
and
yeah.
everything.
Well, when you're on a little budget, you get
budget.
creative. So that was our dating and
When did you know you were gonna? How did it work out? Where you were aware that you weren't just gonna go somewhere?
Well, I didn't know. So Dean actually, we were leaving in the end of May, and this was February.
3 months
So it
later.
was just 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Well, Dean was already talking about the possibilities of a possible engagement, and I'm like, can't go there yet. No, not after
Yeah.
3 months.
It took a
And,
while. But she eventually got tired because she was a resident. She said, okay, do you cook? Can you clean? Can you do laundry? Okay, you're hired. That's my story.
Perfect.
Yay! So thank you, Carol. I've been wanting to record that all week, so this is a perfect time.
You can keep it
If
for
it wasn't for
your
you
kids and grandkids.
breaking the rules and saying, sure, come on in, that's your personality. Everybody's included in the party, even you that don't, uninvited wedding guest. So we've told that story don't know how many times. Everybody, that's why when I introduce you, I say, this is the one so they know about you. Okay.
Every time I see Dean, I'm famous.
Okay. End of story. Thank you.